Alright, so in here, let's see if I can send this. Okay, so that's live. Alright, let's see if I can send that link out. Hi Andrew, it's Paula at Sea Grant. Any way to call into the social media roundtable? Yeah, hold on just a second. Hi, yeah, okay. Copy. So from here, I can... Hi. Streaming on YouTube here. Great. Hi, my hair is just... Okay. And you can, if you join, yeah, I see someone has joined. I don't know if it's me. Might be you, Paula. I can see chat messages on here as well. And I'll check those to see that stuff if you want to try to share it. Oh, I guess I could see if I can chat on there. Hello. Yeah, I do see it. Okay, great. Just joined. Yep, cool. I see there's two people. One of them is me. So I'll disconnect myself. All right, let me email it out to the group. All right, email guests. Hello, everyone. Here's a link to the YouTube stream for the roundtable today. I will check the chat for questions as we go. Okay. Hi. All right. Let's get logged into some stuff here. Oh. Whoops. All right, so just in case I need this. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm alright.
I am glad to hear it.
I'm glad it's Friday.
as me for right now.
And are you expecting lots of the people on the list?
It's yes and no.
Okay.
It's like every party, you, 3 people have joined already because I'm streaming on YouTube as well.
Oh, I see.
Oh. It's going to ask me for a... Yeah, I don't know how many people will show up.
Okay, because I have to leave by 4.
Yeah, no, it's all... I want you... The password you've entered is incorrect. All right. Now what? Yeah, it's all just drop in and drop out, and people are going to show up late, and people leave early. That's just how this goes, because it's all real casual, man. We're just hanging out.
Cool.
Ms. Bishop, how are you today?
I'm fine, Mr. Castle. And yourself?
I'm doing quite well, thank you.
So glad to hear that. I'm Suzanne.
I'm Mike.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Nice to meet you.
I work at the library.
I'm the registrar.
Wow, what a cool job.
I learned something new.
Hello.
Hi. You did? What's that? You have to do social media?
Well, no, the original term for it, back at Oxford in the 15th century, was the beetle.
Oh, the Beatle?
B-E-A-D-L-E.
Yes, Shakespeare refers to the Beatles a lot.
So I figured...
Why are you not responding to this mouse, computer?
App or something, I'll use the beetle.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That's no good. That's weird. Hi, weirdos.
If there's any thing about using this screen you'd like help with, let me know.
Well, this thing decided it didn't want to work anymore, so.
Hmm?
One of the things on Facebook, which Stranger Kids thing are you? I don't know.
You don't want to have control over whether or not we can use our keyboard?
I do not. I just want to log into Facebook.
Citrix receiver add account. What?
That's much better.
Anybody else get that? I'm not sure.
Why are you acting so weird, Facebook?
This is very oddly odd.
Can't even see the whole dealio here.
This is very empty, very oddly.
I'll just make.
It's the magic technique for trying to
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Turn that on and move over your fingers. I mean, no, like.
It's a party.
You broke it.
Social media party.
How about you?
I have 5 people online. I usually stand up about here, and I'll glance over here for chatting, because I can see chats if they pop up there. So if you want to join in and say anything, go ahead from there. You don't really need to see a bunch of screens. Maybe I can try to turn this way a little bit so you can see it, but usually we're just chatting. All right, hello everyone. All right, hello.
Hello.
So this, again, is a real casual thing. People come and they go. They drop in, drop out. It's just a chance for us to spend a couple hours hanging out, talking about this sort of stuff. I'm going to take a selfie. The selfies are awesome. Hello, you guys. Nice. Like that. All right. So I can just go on and 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 on for hours. No problem. But it's also a chance to ask questions or talk about stuff if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, particularly hear about, questions you want to ask me. I will address them as necessary. Otherwise, I can just talk about some other stuff that I want to talk about. So anybody have anything that they are like, oh my God, I could not wait to talk to you about something or other?
Remember what I asked?
I don't remember what you asked.
While you were on Saguliac?
Oh, you want to know about Saguliac?
No, I asked you to teach us about Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. What would you like to know about Instagram?
Does anybody else want to know?
I use it, but only for my personal stuff.
Well, it's
I could tell you a lot about it.
For KUAC for the fall fundraiser, but I wasn't very good at it.
What was the trouble, Bubble?
What did you want to know about Instagram, Nancy?
How to,
Oh wait, first off, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Andrew. I administer the UAF's flagship social media channels.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I am the social media manager for CLA.
Hi, I'm Suzanne. I am the Development and Public Information Officer for Rasmussen Library and essentially manage/do all the social media. And all the is kind of an overstatement.
I'm going to turn this to the video.
As much as I can.
There you go.
Nancy Tarnay, Marketing and Communications Manager for KUAZ, Public Broadcasting, right through that wall, but I had to walk all the way.
Yes, it's word.
I'm Jeff Richardson. I am the Public Information Officer at University of Nations.
Mike Ernest, Registrar.
The Beagle.
The Beagle.
The Beetle.
Fritz Freudenberger, I'm a public relations specialist with the GI, and I manage a lot of their social media. I'm new, so I will be managing them.
Did you take Nate's place? No, he was at.
Leah Gardine, she was doing event management,
Oh.
Event coordination, I'm doing event coordination, and then half the coordination, half public relations.
Okay.
I moved over here because I couldn't get
That's right, man.
I brought my own.
Well, there you go.
I don't need your computer lab computers. And there are a few people watching the stream, and so they're out there. Hello, I'm streaming on YouTube live via this device over here. So I think they can probably hear some of the things that I say. And I can also monitor the chat. If they want to ask questions, I can see the chat. That's why I'm talking to you people, you streamers.
So I do have an Instagram question that maybe relates to Nancy down.
Great. I mean, Nancy, I can talk a little about Instagram. Instagram is really built for mobile more than desktop, but we can look at Instagram on here a little bit. What did you want to know? Yeah.
I believe so.
Well, when, I use it during our fundraiser, but when is the best time to use it, and how do you build up the network? And then there's one that goes away and stuff that
Post
stays.
kitties, that's how you do it. No, keep on going.
I
So
just didn't understand how, like, because I didn't want to follow all these people on my own phone, you know, so how do you build up the network, and what do you use it for? And there's one part that you post and it only stays 12 hours, and then the other part that goes to.
Yeah, so I mean, I can talk about all of those things. There's only a limited things that I can do with a desktop example, and I don't think that there's a projector that can show you my mobile, but I can certainly show it to you this way. So the time, all right, so you asked several things. Let's try to start at the first thing that you asked. How do you build up the network? So the first thing to do is to post regularly, post all the time. Don't just do it during the fundraising time. You've got stuff to post all the time on Instagram. Content is happening, not just the events, but also when the people are live on the air, or there's all sorts of cool stuff around the studios, or in plus the radio and the TV. There's great pictures that come from all of the programming across all of the channels that you do. Musicians that are featured on the afternoon concert. It's just, there's so much content it's just a little overwhelming to start thinking about like what you should start sharing on Instagram. Instagram is a really, really, really popular channel, especially in Fairbanks. You can see this silly picture of this cat graffiti, which I found outside the Allison building, which was so adorable. Got 116 likes. I mean, that's really, really great engagement. This picture got more than that, 230, because it's really pretty. So Instagram is used all of the time, and I think that Sarah uses Instagram a lot. Both personally and professionally.
Does some words go with those pictures?
Yeah, and so the words do go with the pictures. Instagram, of course, is based around pictures and video, but you can add whatever you want in there. And then also the tags are really important on Instagram. It's how people find all this content to share. So did you download the Instagram mobile app? So if you open up,
I had to go to AT&T to do it.
you had to go to AT&T to download the app for your phone?
I hadn't upgraded my
Oh, I
software for
see,
like
okay.
3 years.
Well, that would explain that. So on Instagram, there's this powerful search tool. The magnifying glass will open it up, and it's talking about Instagram. Where do I even start? So the best thing to do is just share all the content you can. There's plenty of pictures out there for you to share. So pictures and videos are what Instagram is all about. I think videos can be up to a minute long now on Instagram. You can trim, you can edit, you can do all that stuff that you want to do when you're sharing stuff on Instagram. You guys all getting logged in over there?
And then search for University of Alaska Fairbanks, and then you can see what they're posting. So I have a question about posting.
Yeah.
I do a lot on Instagram personally, and like Facebook, where I have a personal side, but I can also post as University of Alaska, as Rasmussen Library.
Yes.
Is there a way to set up Instagram so I can do that too?
There sure is. On your Instagram account, up in the upper right-hand corner, there should be 3 dots. If you open those 3 dots or open up your profile, it gives you the option to add an account. It's at the very bottom of the things that you can choose. So you can toggle back and forth.
I'm looking at my
Toggle back
account,
and forth.
and I see settings? No.
Yeah, try it. Let me see. Yep, keep on going down to the bottom.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
All the way down to add account right there.
Alright.
Yep, there's the
Awesome.
account.
Okay, cool.
So add account, you can add in
Okay.
add in whatever account that you want to do, and then at the top you can toggle back and forth between them. Instagram is really, really easy to switch back and forth. It's a great platform. If you're not using Instagram out there, streamers, get on the Instagram. I'm talking to you.
Right.
Yeah, so when do you post? Post all the time. I post usually once or twice a day for UAF. You can post as much as you want, how much time you have to do. Try not to spam people, but Instagram also uses the same algorithm that Facebook uses, so that users don't see everything in chronological order. They see it depending on how people are engaging with the content. So if you have really successful content, more and more people will see it. Use the hashtags so that you can people can find the things that you are posting in your Instagram profile. When you're looking at it, the magnifying glass opens up the search thing. And so this is actually something I really did want to talk about today, is social media listening. And Instagram makes it really easy to do social media listening because of the tag feature on Instagram. On tags, you can tag people for places, individual tags like Halloween costumes or Nanic Nation. You can tag people, all that sort of stuff. But the places tag on Instagram is a really, really useful way to find out what people are saying about you. So for example, KUAC might be a place on Instagram that you can search, and it is indeed. There's KUAC, and I can see it. I'm going to bring it over so that you can do the search there yourself.
Did you do the place, you're looking
Places.
for search?
Yep.
Just using the, places.
Magnifying glass.
I gotcha.
Places,
Okay.
tagging your search term, and type in KUAC, and you can see all the stuff that people have shared at KUAC.
I found you.
Could you like me?
I will like you. I already do like you.
So-
I'll like that too.
This is what that should look like.
Okay. Cool.
Yep, great. So now you're seeing all the stuff that people have tagged for KUAC, and you can see what people are saying about you. Listening to what the social media audience is saying about you is really, really important, because then you can shape your goals and your strategies better to share all the stuff that you're sharing. If your goal, Nancy, is to simply grow your network on Instagram, which is a pretty basic goal, but still an admirable goal, then this is something that you should be doing every single day. You should go on there, you can see what people have tagged on there, and then as your account, go through and like, comment on those posts. Then they know that you're out there, you're seeing the stuff that they're sharing, and they're more likely to like you back. Instagram does not have a follow for follow policy. That's sort of a loose social media thing that some accounts do. If you follow me, I'll follow you right back. But if you like their picture, chances are they'll be like, oh, you're around there, I will like you.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a question about videos?
On
And-
Instagram? Yeah.
And because my understanding of how people use Instagram, and certainly how I use Instagram, is zippity-doo.
Uh-huh.
And I don't always have great bandwidth. So I'm just wondering, in Alaska or on, in our group, audience, whether people care about that. How do you use videos? Is it on Instagram?
If you're paying for data then you care about all the data that you use.
Mm-hmm.
That's one particular thing that on Sekuliak was a big thing, because I had a data limit. So I had to really be conscious about how much data that I was sending out and receiving each day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very, very conscious of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are members of your audience that'll be like, well, I'm not gonna watch that video, this is gonna suck up my bandwidth.
Right.
But the thing that I would say is you can't just share with that audience in mind. Like they might come to campus at some point, they can save it, there's other ways that they can, if they really wanna engage with that content, they can save it for later. And when they get to some place that has free Wi-Fi, they can access it, and they can see it. Or Wi-Fi included, because EduRoam certainly isn't free, we pay thousands of dollars personally to do it. So Nancy, so that's how you can grow your account. What else did you want to know about Instagram? Should you be using it? Oh, the Instagram stories, that was the thing that you asked for.
Yeah.
The things that go away. Those are really, really exciting. Plus, one of the real fun things about Instagram stories is they don't have to go away. You can save them, and you can save them on your own personal device, and you can upload them or use them as content other places. And I'll be sure to share that to the streamers as well. Your Instagram stories are a great source of content that you can repurpose later. So you can save it as a video, the whole story, and then you've got that thing that you can share later on whatever channel that you want to. So if you do an Instagram story, you can download it as the whole story, and then it saves it as a video on your phone, and then you could share that on Facebook, you could share it on Twitter, you could share it on YouTube, wherever you want to do after that. And then that's another thing that you could do. If you're going to do Instagram stories a lot, which is really, really exciting thing, then you could say, here's yesterday's Instagram story. What are we going to find out today? Follow along and see what we discover on the Magic School Bus, even though that's on Netflix now and no longer on PBS. Sorry about that. I know. So Instagram stories are really great. Plus Instagram stories, you can add the filters, you can add the text, you can do all sorts of fun things with Instagram stories.
Okay, and about the hashtags, do I just make them up?
Yes, yes, you do just make them up. Some hashtags are established, like we've got our Natick Nation hashtag, and if I go there, I can see all the stuff that people have tagged Natick Nation. Oh, she started! Yay! The new Natick Nation shared admin started today. So you can see all the stuff that people have tagged Natick Nation over time. That's a great way to engage with all sorts of stuff. There could be other hashtags like, what's a popular show on your KUAC TV channel?
Poldark.
Poldark. So I'm fairly confident there will be some Poldark things out there if it's going to let me actually search.
How do we save a video or download a video?
From Instagram stories?
Instagram stories.
So as you're going along, when you post it, like if you're making it, like you're
Oh, if you're making it, oh, okay.
So here you go, I'll make a quick hello, hi, great, wonderful. So now from here I can do save right away, or I can add it to my story.
Oh, got it.
And then if I add it to my story, I open up my story, one of the options that give me down here is to save my story.
I've misunderstood. I thought it was something you could do from somebody, like, of somebody else's.
No, you can only save your own story.
Okay.
And you can't do much on the computer, it's mostly.
Instagram is designed to be a mobile app. It is not designed to be a desktop app. It's designed to use your mobile. So this is the official Poldark page. On here, if I wanted to click on the Poldark tag, it's going to show me other things that have been tagged Poldark. So here's stuff that have been tagged Poldark. I haven't watched this show, but I hear it's very popular on our local KUAC channel. Has anybody watched Poldark? Is it good?
It's dramatic. It's a good soap opera.
So yeah, you usually just make them up. Yes, that is the answer. You make them up. You try to keep them consistent so other people can use them, and then you can search them to find information. You had a question.
Oh, you were using the term story and video, and I don't know the difference.
Oh, great. So on Instagram, and I'll come over to show you here. So Instagram has this thing that they call Instagram stories. So if you open up this camera up here, you can record a video or a picture or whatever you want for your story. So the story is something that it lasts, it's very temporary, it's only up there for 24 hours, and then it goes away, supposedly. People can't see it anymore. But you can do all kinds of fun stuff, like I can make myself look all spooky, I can add filters, there's all sorts of fun things that you can do with the Instagram stories that you can't do with, like, see this, oh look, say I made myself a little motorcycle guy. Put my head up. Oh, there goes. Oh, I'm riding around on a motorcycle. So it makes this sort of thing, and then it's just a fun way to connect with your
So in that sense, it's like Snapchat.
It is exactly like Snapchat. That is a great thing to compare it to. Instagram Stories is Instagram and Facebook's response to Snapchat, and use of Instagram Stories is far outreaching Snapchat right now. In fact, I just read yesterday that Snapchat is going to be changing how they work to make it more easy to figure out for old people like us, because they want old people like us to use it, and I'm including you in that too, Sarah. Because the young people, 12, 13, 14-year-old people that are using Snapchat, they don't have a lot of disposable income. So if Snapchat is really being used by these people, Snapchat really can't make any money from them, nor can the advertisers that are advertising on Snapchat make any money from that audience. So it's in Snapchat's best interest to expand it so that people like us can find friends and we would want to share it more. But that's what Instagram Stories, Facebook tried to buy Snapchat a couple of years ago, and Snapchat said no. And so Facebook was like, fine, we will crush you with all the other stuff that we can do. And they are. Snapchat it's plateaued. There's not many new people using Snapchat. Snapchat users are way below Instagram Stories, which goes up and up and up and up, because Facebook and Instagram have all the resources together to create an Instagram and make it into more of a Snapchatty thing.
So is UAF using Snapchat?
I use Snapchat sometimes. I would love to use Snapchat more. One of the things about Snapchat or Instagram Stories is I spend a lot of time in my office. I have not found a way to budget my time that I can get out for an hour or a couple hours a day to go Snapchat around somewhere. But if I was able to do that, I would be doing that much more. And I would be like, there was the Snapchat over here at the library in the archives. Snapchat in the Fine Arts Building from the gallery one day. Snapchat from the Wood Center. Snapchat from Arctic Java. Snapchat from the Greening Building. So I would love to have more time to go out and do Snapchat. But the thing about Snapchat is it sort of needs to be very like in the moment. That's what makes the platform so exciting. So if my Snapchat was here I am sitting at my desk posting stuff on other social media channels, that's not very exciting snaps to share. And I don't think that my audience would want to see that.
So it really depends on movement and
Yeah.
different places, different scenery.
Yeah, the exciting things that you see throughout your day. Like I could Snapchat my way to the office every day and home every day. But that would get pretty boring unless I saw moose and wolves and lynx on the way to work every day. But if you have a live event coming up, like I use Snapchat and Instagram Stories more than Snapchat, like at graduation, commencement, things like that. Because there's things that are happening fast. And I can add them really quick on these channels that are designed to be fast. And then I'm not posting 25 pictures on Twitter every 15 minutes because I can take those things, I can post them in my Instagram story on Snapchat, I can take a screen from that piece of content, I can tweet that and say, hey, I'm sharing on Snapchat during this event, come over and look at my Snapchats, when I'm snapping from this thing. So that I can focus my efforts on having the live feeling on Snapchat and then invite people to join it with other platforms.
And so why, what value do you think Snapchat has for UAF?
The ultimate value is to connect with students and prospective students in the media where they are already living and existing and having a good time and connecting with things that interest them. So younger people and current students as well. Current and prospective students would be the audience that I would be trying to connect with on Snapchat. So right now, since I don't have a Snapchat channel, they can't snap at me. They can't communicate with me about the fun stuff that they're doing or seeing, which means I'm missing out on a lot of content of stuff that's happening out there on the campus. I see other higher ed Snapchats. I'm always envious because students are snapping the cool things that they're doing, and then those places have that content to share. But I don't think it's really cool if I'm like, hey, snap at me, but I'm not giving anything back. So that's sort of I feel bad about it that I am not more active on that particular channel because it is so popular, it is so used. But I have other things that I do that I have my time focused on, so I haven't focused on that. But I feel in many ways that I am letting down the university population by not snapping more of all the stuff because I might have I can get on the top of Greening. Other students can't get on top of Greening. So I can take them to places that they can't go. I can get into labs that they can't go to. I can meet with people that they can't go to. I could say, hey Mike, I'm going to come down, we're going to Snapchat, we're going to talk all about the stuff, the importance of registering for classes or these deadlines, and so I'm going to snap with you for an hour, we'll do a Snapchat interview video and fun face swapping, but basically the thing would be to raise excitement and information about the importance of registering on classes early. But it would be, I would spend half an hour with Mike, and we'd do Snapchat back and forth, and then I could share that, and it would be a way to share the information out there and the environment that students are using. But I'm not doing that, obviously, as Mike is like, that sounds great. Why haven't you done that, Andrew? So maybe I will now that we've talked about it, because that's...
See you Monday.
Yeah, great. So, I mean, ultimately, the thing about that is, and I'll bring this guy up here, with all social media channels, is that you want to be in the places where people are engaging with the media. All right, here's Marshall McLuhan. He is a huge, huge hero of mine. And so, this is going to take me to this picture. That's fine, because it's just the picture that I wanted to show you. He has this thing that he says is the medium is the message. The medium is the message. And he was amazing. If you're not familiar with Marshall McLuhan, please go Google him, look him up, read about the stuff that he says. Amazing stuff. With electronic and digital media. He saw the world that we are living in today, back in the 50s and the 60s. In fact, he said, in an interview, someone asked him, hey, isn't the world going to become a more peaceful place? If we're all connected in these digital mediums like we're saying we're going to be, Marshall, isn't the world going to be some utopia where everybody can communicate with everybody? And he answered in an interview, I have never seen an example of when people get more connected that it becomes more peaceful. When people get more connected, it becomes much more fractious and upsetting and angry and violent. And I think that we are seeing that sort of world evolve around us. Social media has not made the world some sort of place where we all have magical understandings of people who are different from us.
Right.
Social media has made it so we can let the other know how awful they are, and really form up our own bands and our own villages and our own tribes. But to get back to my point of bringing up Mr. McLuhan, who is a genius, and you must go read the stuff that he said, the medium is the message. What it boils down to is, it doesn't matter what you share as long as you're in the place where people are connecting. So it doesn't matter what you are snapping. I could just snap my shoe every minute, every hour. That could be my Snapchat. My Snapchat shoe of the hour, and that's pretty creative, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it'd be kind of fun. Like, where's my foot this hour? But I would still get people engaging with it. The university would have a Snapchat presence, and people might snap their own feet back at me. It could evolve into a whole fun thing, and now I kind of want to do that. But the point is to be in the places where the people that you want to communicate are. And they are on Snapchat, they are using Instagram, they are using Instagram stories, Facebook, Tumblr, all the social media channels that we share on. So it's better just to have a presence there and share the crappiest content that you've got rather than not being there at all.
Okay, so I know this is the question you hate, but here we go.
Yeah, I love it. Questions I hate.
Would you please prioritize these for students and faculty, so that if we can't do all of them all the time, we...
Facebook is number one. Facebook is by and far the number one channel that you should be using. Okay. And it's not just Facebook, and I say that because the importance of Facebook is the power for paid social media. That is why you should be on Facebook, to access all of the data that Facebook collects for all of the people out there. Look, it's CLA. For all of the people out there using it, you can use Facebook to connect with them directly using money. So that is why Facebook is number one. I will say to use Facebook, that is the number one social media platform you should be using, but not without a budget behind it.
No.
Get a budget for it. Whatever you have to do, whoever you have to fight, no matter if this is like Hunger Games for budget here at the University of Alaska right now. And social media is really, really important. The people that you work with might think, oh, this magazine that we make is really, really important. I will tell you that they are wrong. I tell that to the people in my department that I work with. They hate to hear it. I've been telling them that for years, and I get the same response all the time, which is, yeah, Andrew, go away. We don't want to hear that. People want to have, this is what I have heard and learned in my research that shows this as well, People like to have some sort of thing they can hold that connects them with the school where they went and studied and spent all those years. They like to have that thing in their hand. So it's my job as a social media person to tell them those people are rapidly aging out of our society.
Mhm.
And that if you want to focus on those people, great. But that money could be used to get more people to come to this school that don't have a connection to UAF yet. Like, are those alumni and friends that we're sending the Aurora magazine to every month or so, every 6 months or so, are they giving back? What is the return on investment for that magazine? Are they supporting the Alumni Association? Are they supporting the development? Are they supporting, like, I don't know if you have flyers, if you have a magazine, or if you're putting stuff out there as KUAC, are those fundraiser people? On the flip side of that,
We don't do any print.
great. So using the paid aspect, look at that, more CLA, because JR. So KUAC, you have an amazing database of people out there. You have emails from people who have donated, all that sort of stuff. You can turn those emails that you've got into audiences that you can target with Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising. And the paid content that you are promoting will go right to those people that you know are already engaged with KUAC in some way. None of that money will be wasted because you know your audience is already invested in the stuff that you're doing. So if you've got another fundraising thing, it's paid social media is a whole thing. We could spend the next hour and a half just talking about paid social media if you would like. I would love to try to get you guys to do more of that. And some of you are. Some of you are sending some money to me all the time, which is great. Yes?
Oh, no, I was just saying, we do some of that, but,
Yeah, some of it.
well, it's coming out of my pocket, so.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And it's nothing, I just say it to you because in your role as a social media admin for the place that you work, it is your duty, and I don't use that word lightly, it is your duty to demand more budget for your social media presences. You'll be told no, I know you'll be told no, I'm told no all the time about it, I am, it's true. But it just makes me more determined to ask for it and say this is what I need. And my budget has gone up. Little by little, every year, I get a little bit more. It just means like, okay. The other thing that I think I told you yesterday, and I don't know if I've mentioned it to other people, Jeff might have heard this, and I'll make sure that I share. Oh, I got a thing over here. If you don't have fresh content to post on Facebook, Twitter, oh wait, come back, comment. Every day. What can you do? Retweet, share other Facebook posts, any other ideas? Yes, so Paula from Alaska Sea Grant is on here. Yes, that is great, Paula. Retweet other people's content. Curate content from other places. That's fresh content for you. Look at pages that are other Sea Grant programs. They might have some stuff going on, and it's always great to tag them and say, look at all this other cool stuff that's happening with California Sea Grant. I don't know if they've got that, but other Sea Grant programs would do that. Your peers, you can share that, tag them, connect with them, then they will see that they can answer for you. And that goes for all of you guys as well. If you don't have fresh content from CLA, there might be other CLA programs out there that you can. The risk is, am I recruiting for them? Am I promoting them in the stuff that I'm doing? Ultimately, if you're the one that's being the leader, you're the person that people are going to want to be a part of. Like, I found cool stuff because I like UAF's CLA program. So that's a great question, Paula. Yeah, repurposing content sometimes goes down. That's why I have a bunch of other like BuzzFeeds and Spotify and all that sort of stuff that I make. But definitely curate from other places to do. I was talking about something before that.
Paid content.
Oh, paid content. Oh, Facebook is testing right now in smaller countries around the world, in a few small countries, that all of our brand and organization pages, they will not be putting any organic content in people's news feeds. 0. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You know why? Because shareholders like me are expecting bigger returns on our stock investment. So they need to make money. And the way they make money is from people like us. Because we want our content to be seen by people. So the more that you are working toward getting that budget now, in a couple of years, when Facebook announces, actually now, every single brand and organization page, we will not be organically distributing your content, then you will have the support that you need to make sure that people can still engage with it. Because Facebook's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
We still want to be there. We still want to be engaging with people on that. So I will back that up a little bit and say that there's still good use in creating organic content and sharing it, because if you make content that people really like, and I'll think you down to this one from 2 nights ago. So these 11 shares that happened on this picture, when they shared it, it showed up as organic content in their friends' news feeds. So that will be the way that our content will get out there organically. So your content, the pressure is on to make content and share content that people will want to share. More viral content, if you will. Because as I'm sure you've seen in your, and I'm going to go to my own Facebook right now, I don't think there's anything crazy, so don't worry, you're not going to see anything weird in my Facebook content. But see, here's a great example of someone shared a brand and organization's event. So I see that in my newsfeed. I see that in my newsfeed.
Because you like UAF student SDA?
No, because I'm Facebook friends with Mary Conlin.
So you saw it, okay.
Yeah. So Mary shared it into her own feed, and from there I saw it in my feed because we're connected. Let's see if there's another example of that sort of thing. Okay, so here, this user replied to a comment on this post. So because he replied to a comment, Facebook shows me that piece of content. So these are the ways that people will still see brand and organizational pages, because users are seeing it and Facebook wants me to see the content that they are engaging with, because the algorithm has told them that this might be something that I am interested in seeing.
So what you're saying is that in a couple of years, Facebook is going to take that away?
No, it's going to be restricted to just that.
Okay.
They say there's nothing to worry about.
Huh.
They say that we're just testing this. It doesn't mean we're going to roll it out to the United States. Don't worry about it, you guys. Don't worry about it. But I would worry about it. And I would say keep on fighting for that budget so that you will see these things. So here's a viral piece. You shared a link from LOL-cited quizzes. Please do not take the quizzes that you see on Facebook. That is how the evil people get information about you. Don't do it, no matter how tempted you may be to find out which Stranger Things kid you are. It's all a ruse from the Ruskies, if you will. Yes, so yeah. Let's see if I can find a little article about that. Facebook, no organic, okay. See, people are already searching for it. This is the thing that's happening. It is happening right now with all of our Facebook pages. September 27th. So it's hard. It's hard. Facebook has control of these things. So the thing to do is you've got to make your content better. You've got to make your content so people will want to share it. You have to share more content so people have a chance to see it. You have to pay. Yes.
What is your budget?
This year my budget is about $2,400.
That's tiny.
It's, yeah, in the past,
25.
yeah, it is, it's pretty small. Let's see if I can log into I'll log out of this and log so you can see it. Since 2012, I think I have spent a total of maybe $20,000 total, and some of those are like big buys, big marketing stuff not just stuff that I've got. Some organizations and brands pay $25,000 in 1 year for the social media stuff that they're doing. Hey Ray, we're going to see you soon.
Do you use your boost money primarily for events, or what do you use it for?
If someone gives me a specific thing, I will use it for that. I use it to promote the content that is important to me, that helps. I use it to promote the content that helps me reach my goals.
Yeah.
And my goals, my initial goals are to help students every day. Like, what am I doing to help a student today? And then I have other goals, like I want to get more people to like the Nanic Nation Instagram account. So I have things like that. I also have goals where I want to make sure that I share and promote the stories that Jeff works hard to get with the PIOs around campus. So like I have budget set aside for those things. And then there's other budget I get from outside of mine, like there's a Centennial budget that I use to promote Centennial stuff. I have a budget from the Aurora magazine that I can use to promote Aurora magazine content that's posted online. So I have budgets that are enveloped for other things, but mainly what I use the budget that I have access to every day is to promote the content that helps me further my own goals for the page that I manage. And it changes, it all depends on the goals that you have for yourself. So I've spent, $204 over the past 7 days. This is what my advertising looks like you can't see this, but that's okay. You can look at your own. So here is a UAF 100, a Centennial thing. They wanted to sell more of the gear that they have in the store. So they said, hey, Andrew, can you make sure that you're talking about all the cool gear that we have? This is the Nanic Nation Instagram. You can see that I've spent a little bit of money on here to, try to really share about this stuff. This is August, September, October, November, obviously, and it's only a little bit each time, just a little bit. So with the $200 a month I have to spend, like how much can I spend every day? Okay, $5 to $10 a day maybe a little bit more than that now. Okay, so that means one post every day. I can post for this much, or I could spend a lot on the weekend or things like that. So it really is up to me, and it is all of the goals and the metrics that I've set for myself that I want to do. So here's the account overview. You can see for the whole lifetime. So it's almost $30,000 now that I have spent since May of 2012, and I've reached 1.4 million people, with 132,000 people taking action on the content that I have shared. So if I said to someone, hey, your $28,000 can reach 1 million people, imagine if you had that budget to spend in 1 year. If you had $30,000 in 1 year, you could reach all of the students at UAF several times with all of the content, all of the stuff that you want people to do, all the journal databases that you want people to access at the library. You could put the link right in their hand. All of the events that you guys do, so many art galleries, music events, anthropology presentations, psychology meetings, I don't know what all the crazy stuff that happens at CLA, all of that stuff, all of the things that you do. We've talked a little bit about that. Imagine if you could say, okay, I'm going to reach 1 million people every year. No one would be missing these deadlines because they would be told about it right away. And the research that you could share to the world, you could say, hey, give me $30,000, I can reach 1.5 million people. Well, that sounds great. Here's $30,000. And you can reach even more. Because once you start having these email audiences and your audiences of interests and all that sort of stuff, you can really make every dollar count. Yeah.
I have a question about like percentages as far as like how to gauge whether your engagement or your reach is successful.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any like numbers that you run by? Like if I have so many followers or so many people who like my page, is there like a percentage that is successful of engagement? So like if I have so many followers and only 3 or 4 people like my post, how do I know if that's good or bad?
There's no percentages that I look at. There's a couple of things that I check. One is Facebook gives this relevancy. I'm seeing if I can find one of those. So with an ad, Facebook gives this, did it pop it up when so it gives this relevance score. So that's a way that you can say, hey, is it working? Am I getting the most money for my dollar? So you put in your audiences, who you want to reach, then you make your content, and then you share it. And if there's a benchmark that you want to look at to see if it's working or not, this relevancy score is something that Facebook includes in their metrics. And I will show you the relevancy scores that are hidden by this pane right now. They're not very good. Relevance of 2 and 3 out of 10. This was the thing for the Title IX training. This is the link about take your Title IX training or you won't be able to register for class, you cruel, cruel man. How cruel you are.
I was forced.
Yes, and so I heard there's lots of feedback I got. So I did. I'll show you one of them on here. So that is, to answer your question in the most basic form, that is the thing that you can check really, really fast.
And if you're not paying for things, or it's not one that you paid for,
There's no,
will
you
it
won't see a
still-
relevancy score. You're going to have to just judge for yourself.
Okay.
But as you can see on the normal Facebook page, organic things are really, really low. And you just saw all those other posts. We're not the only people suffering with this new low organic engagement. I'll see if I can find an example. I think I can from a couple days ago. If this is going to come up for me, usually I have to do this way. I'll also show this thing. Are you going to show me that? Add here? Okay, I can see it here.
So if you have no money at all, is that when you explore another platform, or is it still worth just kind of throwing your messages?
It is still worth it. It is very much still worth it, even if you have no money at all, because you're hopefully the content that you're sharing is exciting enough that people will want to share it. Like, it's just a bigger challenge for you to get content that wants to go viral, that people will want to share. How you describe it, and the people that are following you. So it is totally still worth it, even to share it without a budget.
Are there other platforms that are better with no budget? If you are using Twitter, does that...
Well, Twitter has 280 characters now. They're desperate to get people to use it. So if you've got content that you really want to get out there, Twitter might be a way to do it, depending on who's following you and the hashtags that you use, so people can search it to find it. Instagram functions a lot the same way Facebook does, so that might not be the way. Tumblr might be a good thing if you really want to post that content and get it out there. But I think Twitter, on our list of priorities, Twitter is number 3 for me underneath Facebook and Instagram. Then comes Twitter. And then comes YouTube, which unfortunately I also do. So, great. Couple of things to show. One, what was the first one I was going to do? It was to try to find this piece of content. So last week, I think it was earlier this week, I shared, so to go way, way back, I had a meeting with the public information officers here at UAF and admissions to talk about admissions research and how that was going to help define our new digital communication, digital marketing goals over the next year or so. And one of the things, there was a new guides and goals handed down from the president and the Board of Regents that held these big numbers about how they want to save the university by getting more students to come here. And also one of the things was they want to save the university by getting more students to just finish their time here. Student completion. On that list, they want student completion to rise 126% by 2025. That is their goal. Yes, it's huge. Did you hear that, streamers? 126% completion increase by 2025. So I was like, that's a goal. I love goals. Goals are great. Goals give me something to work towards. Goals give me something to set my strategy about. Goals give me something that every single content piece that I post heads toward a certain goal. So I asked the researcher, what is the #1 reason why people don't finish school? What is the #1 reason? And what he told me was financial difficulties. Either they are bad at managing their money, things are just too expensive for them, they have little things that happen to them. They have a tire that goes flat, they can't afford to replace the tire, so they can get around so easily, which means they can't come to school. If they miss 2 weeks of school waiting to get enough money to come get their tire fixed, there's no use for them to come back because they're going to be 2 weeks behind, they're going to be struggling to catch up, so they drop out. Finances was the big one that he told me. I was like, great, that's wonderful. I can make content to help students with their money. And so this was a thing, one of the research that I found said, talk to students about some of these lower competitive grants and scholarships that are out there. Usually those come from local businesses and people. So I searched Fairbanks, small scholarships. Lo and behold, University of Alaska, the Rasmussen Foundation, had already collected a bunch of them on a website. And the deadlines are all in February 2018 for the most of them that I found on this list. So this was great content. This was awesome content. So I made it just like I did everything else. I scheduled it. I posted it. I went home. I had rehearsal that night. I was doing all sorts of stuff. I checked my social media a little bit. I didn't really pay attention. I came in the next morning. This thing had exploded. Like,
Wow.
this orange is organic. This orange is paid. After it was so popular, I put $20 behind it just to get it out there a little more to an address to an audience that I had that was specific students. 62 people shared it, 75 people reacted to it. Almost everybody who saw this post shared it. Almost everybody who saw it shared it.
You took an article that had already previous.
Yeah, it's not even an article. It's just a link
Oh,
of these various scholarships
Okay.
that you can apply for.
cool.
It's just a list. And then in the comments, almost everybody who commented on it was tagging somebody else. Their friends, their children, their relatives. You know, get out there and apply for these things. It really told me that this is content that people want. They want to know. Every year I try, nada, says this person. And this person says, already applied, already saved the link. So this was content. This person tagged 4 people. So if Facebook had not shared this out, but some people had saw it and started sharing it, it just went gangbusters.
Wow.
These are metrics that I usually see when I put money behind a post. This I count as a viral organic post. I mean, this is huge, huge, huge. So for me, I had a goal that was set for me by the Board of Regents and the President. Said, okay, I accept that goal. My strategy is to find content that I can find to help students make money, manage their money, finances for students. Not talking about rising tuition, not talking about going out to the President's Forum to tell them about how awful it is that he's going to be raising tuition, because they're going to raise tuition no matter what we say. If every student showed up and said, don't do it, the Board of Regents would say, well, we got to do it. Sorry, you guys. I mean, it's going to happen. So I can provide tools for these students to do, and Mike, you know this money's going to go up. You probably have insider information of the charts over the next few years. But this is stuff that I can do to help. Yes?
So it's so very interesting, but is there some kind of coordinated plan, or they said, Andrew, you're gonna do, I mean, is there other?
No one cares about what I do.
Oh.
I know that you do. I mean, you're here hearing about it, but my boss cares because she knows the work that I'm doing is important, and I check in with her.
When you were on the ship, she was whining?
I don't know. Oh, Marmion does care. My direct supervisor cares. But the departmental, she has so many other things to worry about. She trusts me to do my job. She trusts that if my numbers go up, she can check in the metrics and make sure my numbers are all going up. But no one in my department comes to me and says, hey, what a great post you made on Facebook yesterday. It looked like a lot of people really engaged with it. Good job. No one does that. If someone does that for you, please let me know.
I had one, it was just a picture I took of one of our radio hosts, and it
Did they do that for
really
you?
did go viral, and nobody said anything, but I'm going around, look at this, and they're like, oh yeah, people really like John. It wasn't like nothing about the social media. Do you see?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, but yeah,
People like that guy. Yeah, well, what about the job that I did to make sure that this thing was shared so that people can see it? It's just, don't shut up ever about it. You've got to keep on doing exactly what you're doing so that people know about it. And I'm being a little facetious when I say people don't care. They would care if I started doing something that was wrong.
like taking.
I would hear about it right away. There was a whole thing. Let's see if I can find it. I think maybe, what am I logged into? I can just describe it. So there's a whole thing, this is what people notice. So there's a whole thing, I made a meme, the distracted boyfriend meme, which has a person that is looking at something that they're interested in and something that they should be paying attention to, feels upset about it. So I made that meme about the beginning of the school year. Oh man, I wish maybe I can find it real quick. Maybe I can find it real quick. I've got it in a presentation.
How do you make a meme?
Oh. Give me a minute and I'll show you how to do that. So I'll talk about that whole thing again in just a minute. So I wanted to show this just because it is an example of something that is new for me. So this is the piece of content. The dean of students, one of the people in their office came to me and was like, "Oh my God, no one is signing up for this training. Nobody is taking their time in my training. Everyone's about to be shut off from their classes. We need your help." That's another time when they notice me. Is the day before their deadline, and then suddenly, oh, what about social media? Maybe we'll try that. Anyway, so they came to me and they said, "Here's $1,000. Get word out there about the stuff that you want to do." I'm like, "Okay, do you have an audience? Send me the email of every current student that you've got their preferred email, and I can target a post to go right to them." They said, "Sure, no problem. We can get you that," which they did. So I created an audience based on preferred emails for all of the current students, so that I could target posts that go right to people that are here. Then I said, "Do you have particular wording that you want to use or pictures that you want to use?" They're like, "Nope." Like, okay, that means I get to choose. I get to choose. So I chose a pretty picture of campus. I don't know, it's pretty generic. It's it's campus core, it's Aurora, it's UAF, it's still snowy, it's not like it's a sunny thing, sort of connected to the season. And then
When did you post that?
this was, I don't know, a couple days. This was it must have been before Halloween. So it was the Friday before Halloween is when this post was going. Oh, hello. Nice. She checked in here, and I got a notification.
I'm busy.
I know that's good. Yeah.
I'm doing what you're telling me to do.
Yeah. Thank you. So people engaged with it, and this post is the first time ever that I have left a vulgarity on my Facebook page.
On the university.
On the university's Facebook page. Nobody has said anything to me about it.
Oh, interesting.
No one commented about it. No one said, "Hey, why is UAF showing this thing?" This other person agrees that it was so stupid. How people feel about this training is one thing. There was a share on here. I think it's one of these shares, if I can see the shares. Someone commented about, this was one.
And there goes your numbers of keeping the students.
This was, we all know where this thing came from. Someone shared it and they said, "I can't believe I have to do this training." It's not in the post here. But someone else had commented on that post, "Anything you can do to help protect your fellow students is something that you should want to do." So there's a very positive comment along with all these other things. But overwhelmingly, it was, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this? This is not helping me improve my life. They'll be losing a lot of students who didn't take the class. So here's the same person who, I hid this because they're going on and on and on and on and on. Maybe Facebook might have hidden this too. But you can see it got, it's freaking long. I did the training. So here's a question. Someone's like, "Hey, do I have to do because I can only do half of it?" And it's like, "No, you can just do that first half. And later on you can figure out how not to get drunk and hurt other people." But I just wanted to show this as an example because we're talking about what people see and how people react to the stuff that we share. I've had several conversations with Marmy and my direct supervisor about language. And usually I hide stuff that has language in it, but this was something that I kept. That guy, Robert Olson. Oh, you want to read Robert Olson?
Well, I'm just wondering why you kept it.
Oh, I just hid it.
Oh, you hid it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He can see it, his friends can see it, but other people who are engaging with it can't see it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And his comments are sometimes just distracting more than helpful. But we're talking about who sees the stuff that we work with. So actually, when I was first looking at the post, it didn't even register me that it was a vulgarity that was in there. It was later in the day when I was rechecking engagement, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh.
You've left them in.
I'm going to leave it. Never this word.
And so is that something you purposely haven't taken it down or hidden it yet?
Yep.
Is that because a lot of people have already seen it and you don't want to
No, I was doing it because I want to see if anybody says anything to me about it.
What does it mean we're already free? I don't understand.
They're done with school.
They graduated.
So
Why they still like the page, that's a whole other question.
how closely do you watch the comments on
Very closely.
everything?
Very closely. That's one of the things that's why my job has a little flex hour built into it. I usually leave about 3:30 is when my office day ends, because I'm always checking it at home.
Me too.
And after a
That
couple of
answers the
years,
question.
I went to my bosses and I was like, you know what? I'm checking it 5, 10, 15 minutes every hour or so at home. And my work day is I don't want to log in and say 15 minutes here and there on my timesheet. Can we just have a bunch of time that's sort of, yes, okay, so now 5 hours of the week is flex time for weekend and evening checking, because I do check regularly.
And we're rated on response time, so I think if someone has a question, that we need to get in there and answer.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, so that's just an example of engagement, people watching what we're doing. You asked about making memes.
Well, we'll see what others are interested in.
Hey,
Interested in that too.
Oh, wait, I wanted to hear about you said you made a meme and there was some feedback?
Yep, I'm going to show you that right now. I'm going to show you that right now. Jeff's heard that story several times. He's out. It's like, whatever, Andrew, tell me something new.
Gloves are on.
Done.
Andrew asked if this meme was a good idea, and I said, yeah, it is. Whoops.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Thanks a lot. See you later. All right, so I have yes, I use Prezi. So this is a whole presentation that, in fact, I just did it. I'll stay over here. I won't do wireless. So you can visit my Prezi page if you want to see it. It's Andrew Castle on Prezi. You can see this presentation. So I've made this presentation a couple times now. It's all about making engaging content like GIFs and memes. So I can do this real quick. In fact, I could do the whole presentation in the time if you wanted. I wouldn't mind. So making GIFs and memes and other fun and engaging content for the pages that you have. Oh, here we go. Everybody's into it. Exciting. So the first thing is I share on all these channels for UAF. I have accounts on all of these channels. In fact, I have another GIF channel, Tenor, I share on because the Tenor keyboard seems to be more popular than Giphy right now. So on Twitter and Facebook and things like that, you can react with a GIF. In fact, the GIF button is right there, so you can tap on it, and you can share your GIF reactions. So, and I have metrics in the presentation that you can see of stuff. Maybe I can log into Tenor to
What
show
is
you.
that green button?
So this is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Spotify, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, BuzzFeed, Storify, Twitch, and Giphy.
What do you do with Twitch for you?
Yeah, great question. So Twitch is the newest platform that I'm really trying to share on. Twitch, if you're not familiar with what Twitch is a video game streaming sharing site. So you can go to Twitch and you can watch people playing all sorts of games from all over the world. You might be thinking, why would I want to watch someone play a video game? Well, why would you want to sit at home and watch someone play a basketball game? It's that same sort of idea. You like to watch people compete. It's that feeling of that voyeurism you get of who's going to win. Like the suspense that comes with any team sport. Or if you're watching a single player thing, oh my God, are they going to beat that big monster boss at the end of this level? How are they getting past this puzzle? How are they living in this world that I live in? Twitch is really exciting. It's a huge number of people that use Twitch all the time. And students love video games. They love video games. They are playing these video games. And so I just started a Twitch channel because I want to be where people are. The medium is the message. It doesn't matter what I'm doing on Twitch. I have a Twitch channel. Sometimes at home when I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a great game if you haven't played it. It's really fun. Anyway, I'll talk about Horizon Zero Dawn some other time. But I share it to the UAF Twitch channel just as a test, just to have it out there. So I've been wondering what are the ways I can use Twitch. There are video games out there. I am not kidding when I say this. I am 100% serious. There's farming simulator video games. Where you go and you have your own little farm. It's like Farmville, but a little bit more advanced than that, like a real video game. So I saw this and the light bulb went off. We are an agriculture school. What if I get an agriculture scientist to play this video game where they're a farming simulator and I stream that via Twitch? That's content that I think people would be interested in engaging with. It's a way that I can show off one of the core things for our class, for our school, and I can engage on a platform where people already are. There's also build your own subway system. Civil engineers, have them play the game. And then, so there's all sorts of things like that. So once I started thinking about trying to use Twitch, I haven't had time with all the stuff that I've been doing to have a month that I can have people come in and, you know, every Friday or so, or, you know, to stream and play the farming game. But it is something that I'm going to do. In fact, I just put a post-it on my computer to remind me to do this. The other thing about Twitch, which was my first idea, was to have a takeover, a Twitch takeover, so students could take it over themselves and play their own games and share their own experiences. I put that forward to my bosses first as a thing to do, and their reaction was the same reaction that I got from gamers, which was, what if they're playing games out there that nobody wants, you don't want a college to see? Like, what if you're playing some sort of zombies infest the school and kill everybody game? That is not necessarily what you want students to see. Or on Twitch, you can also stream your audio. So if you're out there playing, you suddenly start going into a diatribe of some sort of racist, misogynistic, you know, negative diatribe. That is not what you want the university's Twitch channel to be doing. So there's all sorts of things that are going on with Twitch. But that is how I use it. That is my plans. And I think it's really, really exciting. Hello, Lauren.
Hello.
So these are all the channels that I share on, all the platforms that I share on. It takes a lot of content to be able to post things and new content on all of those places.
Have you ever discontinued anyone?
No, these are all still current ones. I have discontinued some in the past. I had a Google Plus channel for a while.
Nobody else is there.
No.
Right.
Why would I be there?
I tried setting that up too. and it's like-
We have one, I can't figure out how to get rid of it.
Yeah, I just, the only thing I do with the Google Plus, it's linked with the YouTube channel, so anything I post on YouTube goes immediately there. So in case the medium is the message, I still have stuff that goes there. It's just, you know, random YouTube. It's great to see you.
Good to see you. I'll touch base with you next week.
Groovy. Yeah. Yeah, making content is really, really important. You've got to have a place to pull content from to fill in all these channels. I have what I call my content well, and I dump buckets of content in there. That's what memes and GIFs and BuzzFeed are really, really good for, is making this content that you can then go and share other places. I'm going to go through this presentation really, really quick. So UAF does have a BuzzFeed channel because we are an educational institution. We can make BuzzFeeds. Other organizations, other brands, BuzzFeed shut it down at the beginning of 2016. BuzzFeed saw what was the writing on the wall, and they said, no professional organization, no brand or company can make a BuzzFeed. They saw that the 2016 election was going to become the ugly, ugly thing that it was. They did not want to participate. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter didn't care. They took a whole bunch of money, and we are literally living in the world that they helped create now. BuzzFeed said, nope. No brand or organization is going to be able to make a BuzzFeed anymore, so you can't make 10 reasons why candidate X is the worst person in the whole world, things like that. That's what they were trying to stop. And they successfully did. But it also meant that my BuzzFeed channel, because I had made one when Walk the Moon came, I had, you know, Where to Sit in Class, so I had made some BuzzFeeds before, but they still were up there. I just couldn't make any new ones. But then I heard that educational institutions were allowed to make stuff on BuzzFeed. So I petitioned BuzzFeed. I said, hey, I work for UAF. Can I make BuzzFeeds again? And so BuzzFeed support emailed me back, said, sure, we will open up your account. You can make BuzzFeeds again. Just don't make BuzzFeeds. There are 10 reasons why UAF is the best school in the world, and you'll be good. So, great. I can make all of these different BuzzFeeds. BuzzFeed is a wonderful, wonderful, fun tool for people to use. And it's a great thing for repurposing content, which is one of the things that Paula asked me about on the stream. So you can petition to get a BuzzFeed channel for Sea Grant. Then you can start repurposing some of those old blog posts. In the GI, Ned Roselle did his hike up the Trans-Alaska Pipeline this summer. He had a thing that was coming in every week or so. He had his new chapter. I took those chapters, I put them all together, and created a BuzzFeed just from those things. Every week I'm like, next week I'm going to put the new one here. Next week I'm going to put the new one here. Next week is the new one here. And so by the end, they're all collected in one place, and I can share that content whenever I want. You want to read about a trip up the pipeline? You know, some weekend content I want over the holidays when things are really slow? I've got great stuff to share. So it's great for creating new content. It's great for repurposing content. It's great for offbeat content. Here's the Ned Roselle one. I wanted to make a recommendation for students what they could eat. Everybody loves macaroni and cheese. Who doesn't? Macaroni and cheese is delicious. Just talking about it makes me want some macaroni and cheese right now. So I asked 5 different people who make macaroni and cheese, a couple of people that I know that like to cook, and a culinary arts professor at CTC to come in and make macaroni and cheese inside a dorm kitchen. The idea being I would write a BuzzFeed about it. I can share it to students. I can say this is something that you can do right in your kitchen because this is where we did it. So we made a bunch of macaroni and cheese. We fed a bunch of new students that were coming up for the semester to start. And then I could share this BuzzFeed whenever I want. But here's 5 different macaroni and cheese recipes that you can make in the dorm kitchen. Everything from boxed macaroni and cheese to a little bit fancier.
And we reposted, we shared that content with a link to cookbooks in our library catalog.
Great. So that's, yeah. That's exactly, so you've got creating content right before BuzzFeed, repurposing old content that you've got sitting around. We've all got tons of content that are sitting around, and then sort of offbeat stuff that you can't figure out ways to do it. I have drawn a lot upon the library lately for like here's citation engines. This comes straight from the library website. Pull them right out of there. I think I don't think the other 2 are on here that I recently did for the library. But BuzzFeed's a great tool for doing that. BuzzFeed also gives you good control over the content when people see it. You can have the words that people will see when they share it. You are writing those things. So when the link is shared by someone, hopefully, you know what it's going to say. It's not going to be something weird. It's in your voice. It gets your message out there, your branding out there for the place that you work. So you have control over it. Also, it's that same thing. The medium is the message. Users out there, they know what BuzzFeed is. They hear about BuzzFeed all the time. They look at, oh, UAF has a BuzzFeed channel. Wow, UAF is so cool. They're in the place where I am. They're providing information in a place that I am getting information. Will they tell their friends, hey, UAF has a BuzzFeed channel. You can check out all those amazing BuzzFeeds that Andrew makes. They're just fantastic. I don't know. But what I do know is that when it comes down to the news feed, they will see that, and it keeps it in the UAF environment. And that's also something that's really important to me. When someone clicks on something, I want them to see the UAF logo wherever they go. You were going to say, I'm sorry.
So if we have a list of 5 ways or 9 ways to do this, that, or the other, send it to you and you BuzzFeed it?
I would love it, or you can start your own BuzzFeed channel too.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to send me that content, I love to make BuzzFeeds. They're great. It's a great way to use GIFs. It's a great way to use these photos. They're just a great tool. So it gives you this control. It is recognizable, so this is BuzzFeed on Twitter. This is BuzzFeed on Facebook. This is BuzzFeed on Tumblr. It's a great way to share. It's a great sharing tool. I love using BuzzFeed. Also, BuzzFeed provides these really, really simple metrics. The most easily read dashboard of metrics I have seen on any social media channel. The metrics are so important. This is always a great excuse for me to talk about metrics. I hope you are all recording metrics and reporting them to someone, even if it's yourself. If you are not reporting metrics to someone, you are doing social media wrong. You need to be reporting your metrics to someone, even if it is yourself. Please, please, please check the metrics that you're doing. So really easy. I can see how many views. I've added BuzzFeed to the metrics that I report every month. I just simply collect the total views over the past month, and that says that encourages me to make sure that I'm sharing BuzzFeed because I include it in my metrics now. The other thing that BuzzFeed is really good for is making this evergreen content. I have some content on BuzzFeed that is, I think this one is where to sit in class. So I did some research to find out where students should sit in class. Guess what? If you sit in the front of the class, you get an A. If you sit in the back of the class, you don't do as well. If you sit in the middle, you're also not going to do as well. But if you want to hang out with your friends, the best place to sit is in the middle. If you really want to learn, you sit in the front. If you don't care about the class that you're taking, you sit in the back. So all of that stuff, all of that research I did out there, compiled, put together in this BuzzFeed, and then I share it at the beginning of each semester. And it always gets great engagement. People love it. They're like, oh, where to sit in class? That's a fun BuzzFeed to read for a second. Is it going to change their mind of where they're sitting in class? No. They want the validation of where they're sitting in class is actually the best decision for them. I don't think they're going to be like, wow, if I sit in the front, I might get an A. Thanks, UAF BuzzFeed. Hopefully. But it's great. It's easy metrics. Please report your metrics to someone. And BuzzFeed is great to have this evergreen content. It's always stuff in the well that I can pull it out when I need to do it. And we know academia has these cycles. Every year it's the same. First day of school, final exams. First day of the new semester, commencement. summer school. I mean, it gets to be a grind. That's one of the problems for us that have, that we work here for several years. Students, I've worked here for 6 years now. Whole graduating classes have come through UAF and gone. Their lives seem so short compared to my career here at UAF. And this is a way that I can stay focused on the work. Because for a student, a day is a long time. Classes, it's really, really long. But for me as a staff member, it just goes by like that. I mean, it's almost the end of the calendar year. That's crazy time.
Do you, so those BuzzFeeds, there are a lot of evergreens, do you consider that content, does it go stale after a while? Like one of my
No,
favorite-
that's why it's evergreen.
Yeah, well, I guess one of my favorite outlets is crack.com. It's like a
Yeah.
humor site. And they repost articles from years ago. And as soon as I see that, I'm turned off automatically when I see that it's an older post being reposted. Is there a way to make that fresh? Do you think most users just don't care? They just want to see it?
I don't think that, my initial answer is most don't care. If it's my first semester of college, I don't care when that article was written. It's still going to have, appeal to me.
Yeah.
If I read it last semester, maybe I'll skip it again because I've already seen it.
Yeah.
But it is everything on the internet, like I think I mentioned yesterday, everything is new when you encounter on the internet.
It's more about when you've seen it versus when it was written.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Is it relevant to me now? And that's the thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Like, if I was to say 5 ways to dial a rotary phone really fast, that would be content that I would not share anymore because nobody is using those rotary phones, alas. Alas.
You wrote that.
Yeah, it would be.
That forethought.
So these are other examples of some other platforms that I share on regularly. This is Spotify, this is Storify, and this is Animoto. So Spotify is a great thing for playlists. Again, it's just content that I'm dumping in my content well so that I can pull out stuff to use. This studying playlist, over 1,800 people follow this studying playlist on Spotify. It has blown my mind. I had a personal goal when I first started that playlist for 100 people. I blew by that really fast. Now my personal goal is 5,000. It's going to take me a lot longer to get there, thankfully, because it means that I can share it regularly and let people going. So I have all of these Spotify playlists, and so that's content that I can share because I have so many platforms to share across. Storify is a great way to pull a bunch of content together. It's an aggregator. You can search Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those things. Pull, like this is the thing for the 40 Below Club. As you know, every year when it gets 40 below, a whole new crop of students go down there. They take off all their clothes and they go and get pictures taken in front of the 40 Below sign. I update this thing every year. This has over 30,000 views. You can't see it on this, but the metrics are huge. People love it. People love it because it's unusual. It's unusual. What does this say about actually studying here? It gets cold.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If you come here, it'll be cold, and you can study engineering, you can study journalism, you can study geophysics, you can study ocean science, I guess. People do that here? I don't know. So you can do all that stuff here, and it's 40 below. That's what makes us different from those other places. Animoto is a great slide show creator. Upload pictures real quick, videos real quick, sort them around, add some text, and your logo at the end. Bam, has some music in there that you can use. Lovely, lovely content that you can share.
What is that?
Animoto, it's called. Yeah, it's super, super easy. And using these tools is great. I like to use them all the time. Spotify and Animoto have a little bit of a license fee involved with them, but it was important enough for me to go to my department and be like, hey, I need, $100 a year so that I can make these slideshows, and then other people can use them too. Like if you got an Animoto thing, you really want to use it, great, I will give you access to the Animoto channel. You can make all the stuff that you want in Animoto. That's great. So these are other examples of why I share on all those platforms and how all those platforms work together for me to share. So if I post the Spotify playlist on Facebook, someone clicks through and they look at that Spotify playlist, it is UAF they see. If I share that BuzzFeed on Facebook, they click through, they see that it's UAF. So I try to have the UAF social media environment be very, very wide. And everything automatically goes into the content bucket. All right, let's talk about the graphic interchange format, which I pronounce as GIF. If you pronounce it as GIF, I am so sorry, you are doing it wrong. It is one of the biggest controversies on the internet, how to pronounce that word. There are some memes talking about how it is a controversy. Granted, the person who came up with the format, I know streamers, the person who came up with the format says it should be pronounced GIF. Because it was a joke for programmers at the time that choosy programmers choose GIF. That was their joke. Forget that. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's a GIF. It's a GIF. So that's how I say it. And that's how I think that it should be said, and I will fight for that until the day I die. GIFs started in the 90s. They were, it was because it was a very small format that you could pack a bunch of animated information into. They really fell out of favor by the turn of the century because the people who made the GIF format started filing lawsuits against other people that were using it. They really didn't want it to get out there. So GIFs really fell out of popularity in the early 21st century. But then about 2005, 2006, 2007 or so, surged in popularity because of platforms like Tumblr and Reddit and the Chive and all those places. These message boards used GIFs a lot. And so they really soared back into popularity, and they are where they are today, where you can have those searchable keyboards to have those reaction GIFs. Because GIFs are an amazing, amazing way to connect and to share information with each other. So this quote is accurate. Animated GIFs are the true artistic medium of internet, says Matthew Rader. I looked it up 3 times just to make sure. He did not say the internet. He said internet with a capital I. So that is not a typo. That is what Mr. Rader actually said. And I agree with him. I first saw animated GIFs on Tumblr. I was in awe of these GIFs that I saw. Some are pretty simple. Some of them are so beautiful and amazing. I was like, how can I do that? It takes a lot of time to sort of learn how to do it. I have the very basic skills to do it, and I'll show you exactly how it's going to work here in just a second. In fact, right now. So enough talk about like what is a GIF. Here's how I make a GIF. Are you going to play video? You are. All right. So this is a screenshot of me actually making GIFs. This is UAF's Giphy channel. Giphy and Tenor are both databases where you can upload GIFs to, and they can be searched and shared. If you go on Giphy, if you go on your keyboard and you're going to search reaction GIF and you want to see some of UAF's GIFs, I tag all my GIFs UA Fairbanks, so you could get in there. If you search UA Fairbanks, you'll see these GIFs showing up. The most important thing about making a GIF is to choose the best quality of content you can from the very, very beginning. There's going to be a screening of Guardians of the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy 2 at the beginning of the school year, so I went right to their YouTube channel. I pulled off the best quality of Guardians of the Galaxy trailer I could, gave it my naming convention, which is very important when you're making a GIF, that you can keep track of them. And then I went to work. So I used 2 platforms to make a GIF, Adobe Premiere and Adobe Photoshop, because I have access to Adobe Creative Cloud through my Office. There's other things that you could do, but these are the way that the things that I use to make GIFs. When you're making a GIF out of the video that you've chosen, you want a loopable moment. You want just a couple of seconds that when you loop it, it will be entertaining to watch. You don't want it to be boring. You want it to be entertaining to watch. So I found this fun thing from the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Mantis gets bonked on the head by this piece of wreckage. They've just ended this movie. The story is over. The Guardians are finally reunited. And so I thought, this is a great thing. I'm going to share this piece of content because it has all the Guardians of the Galaxy. As I watched it over and over again, I realized I did not want to share a picture of someone getting bonked on the head over and over again out of context. If you haven't seen the movie, it might be a little off-putting. So I chose a different piece. I chose just one with this character shooting his laser guns, because just over and over and over again, that would be fine. So, made the content, found a couple of seconds that I wanted, add whatever filter I want in there, just like any image processing thing that you've got. I think this looks really good. So from here, look at it. Yeah, it looks great. So then you can export it out of Premiere, and then you can upload it into Photoshop. So once you've exported it out of Premiere and uploaded it into Photoshop, that's where the magic can really, really, really happen. We are all fortunate enough to work with people who are really, really good at Photoshop. If you can get them to work on the GIFs with you, you can make some really magical things happen. I have not put that time into it. I can't go to my designers. They're too busy doing all the other stuff that they're doing. I can't say to them, hey, make this GIF really cool, because they have other things to do. So I have these very, very, and plus I'm not 13 or 14 sitting up in my room 2 o'clock in the morning, on my Photoshop perfecting my GIFing skills. I'm almost 50. I don't have the time to do that. I'd rather be hanging out with my cat, drinking a beer. So I have very rudimentary GIFing skills. Photoshop, you can add all the layers. You can choose how you want it, the format that's best for you to export it at, the size that it's going to fit on. So I've chosen all that stuff. I've given it a name. I export it. I load it up into Giphy. Once it's in Giphy, I can always find it in there. I can pull it from there to share across any social network I want to. Plus, because I have a brand channel on Giphy, I can see, people can see my GIFs when they search. So I see them regularly. In fact, I have an example coming up of people, of seeing my own GIF out there in the wild. So great, scheduling thing, tag people, it's all really exciting. I double check how it's going to look. I look at it again, GIF looks good. This is in real time now, not sped up. That's how the GIF looks, great. Yay, little tag, event, my activity. Tag OrgSync, try to get the link out there, get people to use OrgSync. If you don't use OrgSync, I don't blame you. The struggle is real, but I could tag a bunch of people. So I'm sorry, maybe you love OrgSync. No, I know. So it's pretty simple. That was about half an hour that I spent on that whole thing. I did go back and I re-chose the content. I rewrote that thing about 1 million times. So it can be as fast or you can take as long as you want. I can usually turn a GIF around in about 10 minutes or a little shorter if I'm really, really rushing and have the stuff that I want to do.
So,
But,
librarian question, there's not a copyright problem with you pulling up?
What a great thing that you ask.
Fair use.
So making GIFs fall under what they call the fair use rules. Fair use rules are still being legislated and litigated out there, so it's all very sort of soft and mushy. The big thing is, are you trying to rip someone off?
Right.
If you're trying to rip someone off, don't make the GIF. Who among us are trying to rip someone off? Nobody. We just want to use it for our communications efforts. We want to get content in front of people or get people to follow through a link.
Well,
So
we're an educational institution, so that helps.
that helps as well. So, but there are, if you want to talk, because it's important, every time I do this presentation, someone asks that very same question at the very same time you do. That's why this is the next slide to come up in there. So, with fair use rules, the first rule is, are you transforming this piece of media into something else? When you're making a GIF, usually automatically, you're taking it from a movie or a video or something and turning it into a GIF. You're transforming it into something new. You're in the clear. If a lawyer comes to you and says, hey, you can't use that thing, well, I transformed it, it falls under fair use rules. Okay, let's take you to court. More than likely to say, okay, just, whatever. So transformative is the first one. The second one, what is the nature of the content that you're pulling it from? Is it something that you've made or something that somebody else has made? If it's something that you've made, go for it. GIF it up all night long. And we've all got videos out there. You've got all that stuff in the digital archive. I have several GIFs that I have pulled from there too. Anyway, so if you've made it, GIF it up. If not, then ask yourself the first question: is it being transformative? Am I turning something into new? The third question is, how much of it am I using? Say you've got a really cool GIF and you just want another couple of seconds out of that GIF. That could be, copying, plagiarism, ripping someone off if you're using the same GIF. So how much? Guardians of the Galaxy is a movie that's about 2 hours long. I used 2 seconds of it. Totally in the clear. So, are you transforming the media? Where did the media come from? How much of it are you using? The final question is, who's making money from it? Who's making money from it? Sure, I'm making money from it because I want people to come to school where they can go see Guardians of the Galaxy and outdoor screenings on their first week of school year. Am I really is the school definitely making money from that? Probably not. So those are the big things to ask about fair use rules. How much are you using? Are you transforming it? What's the nature of the content and who's making money from it?
Well, and to just put a finer point on it, are you keeping the owner from making money from it? So, that's actually the example I use in, not this, but that's the example I use in when I teach fair use, is if what you're producing is making money, is it taking money away from the other, from the original?
Are you ripping someone off?
Right.
So usually not. Usually not. But those are good things. It's a thing to keep in mind. It is a thing to keep in mind. All right, so let's see some of the GIFs that I have used. Yes, it's funny cat meme. So here's that GIF that's been shared. Here's the metrics from it. It got okay. Some people saw it, got some likes and shares. But ultimately, it did not do what every GIF or meme should do, which is get shared more. It had 1 share, but no shares on that share. So I got it out there. I had a fun GIF. I had a good time making the GIF. It's added to my Giphy channel. It got that content out there. I'm not sure if anybody went to see the movie or not, but I made a piece of content that I could share. Here's one that did a little bit better. This is a GIF that I made. I found this really cool video of this person riding a horse, doing archery from the back of the horse. They're just going crazy. It's awesome to watch. They're just bam, bam, sharpshooter. So I'm like, oh my goodness, that is really fantastic. So I take a quick second out of there, make a GIF out of it, and then usually the GIFs that I use are to promote Course Finder, people to sign up for classes and things like that. So it's usually to try to get people to follow the links so that they'll sign up for a class. So I said, hey, take this recreational class, beginning archery, could be the start of your path to mastering using a bow and arrow on horseback.
So, just out of curiosity, you saw the video first and then you looked in for the tie-in to UAF, or you kind of had the archery class in mind?
No, I saw the video first. I thought there's a GIF.
Yeah.
I grabbed the GIF, and then I just had it. And then I'm like, I'm going to use it for something else. I'm going to use it for like, it could be, because with the GIF of the targeting, it could be used for a lot of things. Like, you know, shooting at your future, you know, targeting where you want to go, or whatever course that you're going to take. Or, but when, what I also like, when it's getting closer to the beginning of the school year, I like to go through Course Finder and see if there's any wacky classes out there. And archery was like, okay, that's not a wacky class, but I know there's plenty of GIFs that I can use for it. My first one was like some sort of Hunger Games thing, but then I remembered that I had the horseback riding GIF, and it was a perfect match. So no, I made the GIF first, and then I had it out there to eventually use it for some content. Or I could also use it for other content, but it was really good for the archery. I did, when I first made this presentation, I tried to go back to see if the archery class had been full, but actually after I made it, the class got canceled. I know, but all's that beside the point of what I'm talking about, which is the GIF got shared a bunch. These are comments on the original GIF. You see a bunch of taggings, you know, come to Alaska and take this. Great. I ride on bow hunt, but together I'd kill myself, says Alora. You know, all these people, great reactions. People really loved it. This is someone who shared it on their own Facebook feed, so it went outside. And I saw it, and they said, good job, UAF, solid advertising, love it. So who can I show this to that will really appreciate it and say, my goodness, Andrew, despite all of our budget issues, you deserve a huge raise? No one. But it makes me feel good about the job that I do, and that's important for all of our jobs. So this is a GIF. I didn't make this one, but this is an example of using a GIF that somebody else makes as a communications tool. So on the internet, this GIF is usually used to express the feeling of this is taking so long, this is taking so long, even though I know this is just a little bit of an issue and my life isn't coming to an end, but I still find it frustrating. Internet was out on campus for a little time, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do anything. There's no internet on campus. How can I possibly live? And then I recalled that, 10 years ago, I didn't even have internet, or 15 years ago now. But it's not the end of the world. And OIT was working really hard to get the internet up. So I wanted to both recognize that people were suffering because the internet was down. I wanted to say, hey, it's no big deal, you guys. It's just something that's going to take a little while to fix. And I wanted to say thank you, OIT, for repairing it in a way that would be entertaining for all those, and this GIF works perfectly for that. So this is just an encouragement to, if you're not making GIFs yourself, you don't have time to do that, you can still use GIFs to communicate the ideas that you're trying to share with your audiences about the various things. There's tons of GIFs from KUAC, from public TV shows already out there that you could be using. In fact, I have an example coming up right in the next. Okay, so this is a GIFs on Tumblr. I mentioned Tumblr. Tumblr loves GIFs. So there was a whole Saturday Night Live sketch with the actor who played Kylo Ren in the Star Wars movies, where he is doing that undercover boss thing when he's Mike, I think, the radar technician. And so he had this great quote that he said, I'm looking forward to having some real talk with some real folks. So I made these nice GIFs out of it and shared it on Tumblr. And then I said, this is what it feels like when you're really prepared for a class discussion. This idea that you're ready to have that real talk with some real folks. And people loved it. 2,000 notes on Tumblr. It's fantastic engagement on Tumblr for that piece of content. Here is a student. They really feel that pineapple belongs on pizza. Many people have differing opinions about pineapple on pizza. But he was out there. This is our campus, and this is an animated GIF you saw it on Tumblr. He'd be out there doing it. People on Tumblr have shared it and added it to their own comments, so it's a way that it can be engaged with and shared it. No one's going to come to UAF because I make really cool GIFs. That is never going to happen. I recognize that. But it still, again, is very satisfying for me to see the work that I do being shared by other people, as it should be for all of us. It keeps our work really exciting. So he thinks pineapple belongs on pizza. You can have your own opinions. We won't discuss that. Here's a GIF that I shared on Twitter that was from a KUAC show. So they had this cool thing, the Dakota 38. If you're not familiar with the story of the Dakota 38, and you want to stay in a good mood, do not look it up. If you're feeling really bad about the patriarchy and white privilege, look it up, because it will only make you feel worse about us as white people. It's a horrible thing that happened. It's just terrible. But anyway, all that aside, it was a good show, and a show that was going to be on KUAC 9.4 that night. So there was a whole trailer for the show. I've done this several times for KUAC, and of the gif of them riding the horse, and then someone says they're going to be watching that show tonight. Did she watch the show? I don't know. But at least she knows about what's going on. It's content that I can share. It's a way that I can promote the work that KUAC does, and I can also give credit right back to where I got it from. You can say, hey, you can watch the trailer right here. This is another example of a reaction GIF. This person was going down to the Student Read Center to check on the multi-corer for a cruise on the Sikuliak in June. What the heck is a multi-corer? I don't even know. That's why I chose this thing from Star Trek The Next Generation, where Data is saying the completely new field induction subprocessor. I don't even know what that means. Neither does anybody. It's just science babble. But it's a way that I can communicate and engage. My social media listening turned this up. I could see that people are talking about their adventures on the Sikuliak. I could be part of the conversation and engage with them in this entertaining way by using a GIF. So again, if you don't have time to make the GIFs yourself, you can always use them to engage. All the people are talking about you on all these platforms right now. Go on Twitter, see what people are saying about you, comment with GIFs, engage with GIFs. It's a great engagement tool. Here is, this is a video of how a GIF looks on Tumblr. So this is another KUAC show. This was a KUAC show about boarding schools in Alaska. Another heartbreaking story about Western society in the New World. So I used the same techniques to make these GIFs that I did for the first one that I showed, except I added text at the bottom here. This is actually how the GIF looked on Tumblr, just like this. I screenshotted it as I was going on. So you can see it's really compelling to watch. There's great quotes in there. People can really see it. It's very, very engaging. It just is great. So I really, really encourage people to use GIFs. I love making them, and they're a great way to communicate and share information on social media. And you can see as this scrolls down, it's got a lot of nice engagement. People really reblogged it a lot. They liked it. They commented on it. My grandpa was one of those boarding schools. You know, so it's an exciting, engaging way to get the stuff that you're doing out there into the world. Look at all those notes. Look at all those people. And there I am. I posted it. And it got a lot of reblogs too, not just likes. Reblogs too, which is great. That's what you want on Tumblr. So I'll go back to before I go to that one. There we go. Giphy now gives metrics. They didn't when I first made this presentation. That's one that's sort of lost in the shuffle there. But Giphy can now, it shows you your most popular GIFs and a date range. I think I'm on forever here. So this GIF I made from 30 Rock, you can't really see it, but it's Alec Baldwin sipping his coffee, singing "I'm simply the best." 30 Rock's a funny show. Anyway, it's been viewed 6.3 million times. What? Yeah, this GIF of Antonio Banderas has been from a movie that you can get here at the library, because I made a whole BuzzFeed about movies. This Palovar, that director, I forget his name.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he's a brilliant director, very visionary director. So I made, here's some movies that you can get. Yep. Yeah. So this Antonio Banderas GIF, 4.4 million times. My GIFs have been viewed over 25 million times on Giphy. From Giphy, 25 million. Again, a metric that nobody will care about if I try to tell anybody. Nobody cares about it. It's not getting students to come here. But the thing that it does tell me is that this is a medium that people are using. This is a medium that is very active on the internet. This is something that I should be using, so I will continue to do that. I love the metrics. This is a recent thing. Tenor also give metrics, which is another GIF sharing channel, which I've started on, and you get a notification. Hey, your GIF's been shared more than 10 times now. Your GIF's been shared, just got its first, so it's really, really exciting to see it. And again, I can't go to the Chancellor and say, hey, Chancellor, I'm doing a good job. My GIFs have been seen 25 million times. They're like, well, what does that mean? Well, nothing, except that people like my funny animated GIFs. They'd be like, well, get back to work, get down there and give me some Facebook metrics. So I want to show you this one other thing. Oh, no, I don't need to talk. I've already talked about that sort of thing. All right, so you asked about memes. That was how we got started on this whole thing. You asked specifically about making memes. So, memes. Memes are great. Please use memes. Memes are fantastic. You may think, why are they called memes? Where does a meme come from? A meme is a term. It was coined in the 60s, 70s, I'm not quite sure, sometime around then, by Richard Dawkins. He used it as a term to mean an idea that spreads through a population like an organism or like a virus. That's why there's viral content. because this stuff has spread. Like I share it, Sarah shares it to 3 people, they share it to more and more and more. It spreads like a disease, this idea. Memes are ideas. That is ultimately what a meme is an idea. This idea is a very complicated idea because it is using a meme wrong. And that's the joke about the meme. Because this is not the meme for brace yourself. This is the meme for one does not simply. Anyway, that's a whole other talk. But that's how memes work. A meme is an organic idea that spreads through a population like a living organism. Memes can, this is from Twin Peaks. Anybody watch season 3 of Twin Peaks? Okay, never mind. Memes can be weaponized. Now the thing to keep in mind is not all weapons are bad. A weapon is not inherently bad. A weapon can also be something that is good. Excalibur is a weapon. We think of it as a sword, but we don't think of it as a bloody sword that has gone and slaughtered many people. We think of Excalibur as being the symbol that united a country for the first time. Not all weapons are bad. The more that you understand how you can weaponize your memes to accomplish your goal, the more your memes will be effective. You need to know how they are being used and how they work inside the mind. In fact, the State Department has whole things that they've been studying about weaponized memes for many, many years. If you go search State Department meme weaponization, you'll find really disturbing content. They were warning us about what happened last year on Facebook and Twitter and all those things. They knew the stuff was coming. In fact, there's a whole branch of study out there called memetics, where people just study how memes work. So the more that you understand how they work, the better that you can use them to accomplish the goals that you have for your own social media presences. Okay, so I can tell you how to make a meme. Yeah, I know, it's pretty funny. It's a funny meme, always the Gene Wilder one. So every meme has a sort of title. Every meme has an idea behind it. This is called the Wolverine Crush meme. This is from the X-Men cartoon in the 1990s. Why Wolverine is embedded in costume, I don't know. That's how you are when you're hanging out in the Xavier Mansion. And in the cartoon, he's looking at this picture. In the cartoon, it's a picture of Jean Grey, his unrequited love. He will never be with Jean Grey because she's with Cyclops for whatever reason. Scott Summers, we could talk all about that later. But that's what the meme idea is. The meme is the viewer is getting the idea that this person, whoever this is representing in the idea of the meme, wants this but feels they will never get it or they're going to have to wait. You know, something is preventing them. They have this angst that we feel when we want something. So this is a meme. It's out there. So I wanted to make it into a meme that I can use. So I took a screenshot of Course Finder. I put it in there. And I shared it during the summer being like, if you're missing school, don't worry. You don't have to miss school so bad. You can go right on the Course Finder. You can choose your schedule. You can still be participating in school if you're missing it out there. And so this is how it looked when it's shared on Facebook. It got some nice engagement. I got to share. You know, nobody reacted angrily or told me that it was bad. In fact, someone said, "This is beautiful. Holy heck, who did this?"
Somebody appreciates it.
Yeah, they did, and it got 2 likes too.
Oh.
Not even me. So this is again an example of I use this method of communication to reach a student in the way that they recognize that I was talking to them in their language, man. Talking to the kids. But again, you know, this is something that it helps me, it supports me, it lets me know that I'm doing the job that I should be doing. And I can go to the chancellor, I can show them all these things. They won't care. They won't care. They're, hey, way to go. I've got to worry about Title IX and budget issues. I'm like, I know, Mr. Chancellor, but people really like my meme. He won't care.
So I don't super understand the difference between GIFs and memes.
GIFs are usually animated. Memes are very still.
Okay. That's kind of the main one.
Yep.
Otherwise
And you can turn a GIF into a meme. You can add some text in there, and you can have like an animated GIF as part of your memes. But basically, those are the 2 things.
Okay.
And GIFs usually have a more simple idea, like a reaction GIF, you know, like smiling or laughing or fierce or things like that. It has more of a, it's straightforward. Memes can get very, very, like it's like a poem. It can get very, very complicated depending on, like some of these memes here, I have some examples. Like, here's the one that I want to talk about. So, yeah, usually the memes are much more complex than a GIF, the ideas that they communicate. So this meme was hugely popular about a month and a half ago. You probably have saw it in your own social media feeds, the distracted boyfriend meme. So I caught wind of it as it was on its way up, and I thought, that's great. I'm going to be right on the cutting edge of this meme. It's right before school starts. It's a great way to communicate the excitement that students might have for coming into a new school year, and all their summer plans might be like, hey, we were going to go skateboarding, we were going to go to the pool, we were going to do all this stuff. How dare you be thinking about school instead of thinking about your summer plans? This meme I thought was very entertaining. In fact, I asked Jeff to look at it, I asked my Marmion to look at it, I asked a student in the department to look at it, and they're like, haha, I get it, yeah, good. No.
Who said no?
Everyone else.
Internet. Oh.
I woke up to at 6:30 in the morning to bad emails, to messages from my department head. What the heck are we sharing? What is going on? People did not like it.
Oh, because he was looking at her.
Yeah.
They didn't like it.
Ooh, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I deleted it right away. But at the same time, you can see this person is activated, which is the internet's word for, whoa, calm down, everybody. There's nothing to be so upset about.
I'm glad you told me that. I would have thought that Joey was like excited by that thing.
No, it became a whole conversation that I don't want the internet to have.
Right.
So for me, I did see it a little bit as, edgy. That's why I had people look at it and tell me, is this going to be okay to share? And everybody that I worked with said, yeah, it's going to be okay to share. It was not okay to share.
You asked old people.
No, I asked a student.
Yeah.
Did you just take it down? Did you take it down and address it?
No, I just deleted it.
You just deleted it?
I just deleted it.
Just not bring any more attention
Nope.
to the situation?
Just done. Just done. The other thing is, because I shared the meme when it was becoming popular, people hadn't seen it like in all the other iterations that it eventually become. If I had waited even 3 or 4 days to share it, it probably would not have gotten that same reaction, because people, immediately after this happened, I saw it like every 5 minutes in my feed about every sort of little thing. People photoshopping other things on here. Maybe if I had put the UAF logo over his face or over her face, I don't know, it might have changed it. But whatever it was a meme that I thought was effective. I thought it communicated the idea. The people that I checked with thought it also worked. The internet disagreed, and so I took it down. That's all right. Don't be afraid to share memes. You gotta be afraid. You gotta be, you gotta risk. You gotta take risks in this job. Otherwise, you get things that are really, really boring, and your social media content is just like, You gotta take some risks out there. All right, so here's some examples of some other memes. And so this is how things can get really, really complicated. This is 2 memes combined into one meme right here. Dad, why is my sister's name Rose? Because your mother loves roses. Thanks, Dad. No problem cracking open a cold one with the boys. I know, Nancy, there's a lot to unpack with that meme. So the first part of the meme is there's a whole meme out there that says, Dad, why is my sister's name Rose? Because your mom loves roses. Thanks, Dad. No problem getting drunk on Friday night. So the answer is something that the dad loves versus something that the mother loves. So it's a whole, there's lots of layers going on in that. And then they also added this other meme, cracking open a cold one with the boys, which is a meme that's been going around for a year or so now. And the meme just means I don't even know how to begin explaining what it is, except that you're hanging out with your friends and having a good time. As referred to as cracking open a cold one with the boys. So that meme gets all sorts of interpretations out there. I used it for UAF to show people taking core samples from a glacier, literally cracking open a cold one with the boys. Ha ha ha! Nailed it.
Yay.
Right. Here's a meme. It's Batman slapping Robin. I was, again, a little concerned about sharing this one because it has violence right inside of it, but I did anyway. What I didn't do is make sure that my font was the same. This is sort of the Comic Sans is the font that's traditional for this meme, but I was making it on my mobile, so I only had access to these sort of things. And I wanted to say Star Wars is exciting because it's going to open on that Friday. That was also the day when final exams were, so I was like, I know you guys, the struggle is real for Star Wars. This is one of my personal favorite memes, Sassy George Washington. If you haven't seen Sassy George Washington memes, go out and look them up. I love them. They are hilarious. You take sort of a historic picture of George Washington, use some of this, awful font on there, and George Washington says sassy stuff. So I used it to encourage students to sign up for classes early. Martha's saying it's offered again next year. George says that's totally not helping because he wants to take the class now. So whenever you're going to make a meme, if you're like, okay, today's the day, I'm devoting half an hour, I'm going to make a meme today, please, please, please do your research on where the meme comes from, what the meme really means. You do not want to meme something you don't mean. And like any game of telephone, it changes over time. The more distance you get from how the meme started, you might be missing out on what the true idea behind the meme is as all the layers get on board. And you might share something that is really offensive without really knowing it. So do your research before you share memes. Here's another Sukuliak example. When the Sukuliak was about to be, it was in Juneau, I think. I like comparing the Sukuliak to the Enterprise on Star Trek because it is the most advanced research vessel around. And so I just took comparison photos, the engine room, inside a crawly space, on the bridge. I was like, hey, guess what? You can be on this ship. You can if you work really hard. Thanks to Lauren, I was. I'll see you, Nancy.
Hey, whose idea was it to do the what is it?
Culinary.
Yeah.
That's one of the crew members. He's actually the cook on board. And he's been sending me photos for a while.
Brilliant.
But wanted to share them.
Anytime you want to talk more, Nancy, you just get in touch and we can hang out.
Are blogs still relevant?
Yes, absolutely, more than ever.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. This is another meme that I made. It's a meme that's sort of a takeoff of that Zuckerberg meme where he's getting the social networking meme where he gets a note and he looks around to see who is reading it. So this is one obviously from Game of Thrones. This character finds a note that's been hidden. Classes start Monday is on the note, and there's a note like peering around the corner like ha 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 ha. This got great engagement. People really loved it. In fact, it got shares on the comments on the shares, but no one's sharing it off of the shares. So that again, mixed bag, but better than the other one where everyone hated it. But that one, the Arya meme, got this comment, and again, this is the sort of stuff that I love to see. I love my school. So they feel a little bit better. They're sharing it to their friends. They're telling people that they love their school. And all these 7 people are now going to come be some of our new students here at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. All right, so this is the time in the presentation when I usually hand out printed materials so you can practice making your own memes. So for right now, you can look at these memes. These memes are all really old. These are old memes. But you can just take a thought moment to figure out how would you fill out these to go along with the stuff that you want to share.
One does not simply use Google Scholar.
Great, boom, done. Meme made, share that meme, you get some engagement.
Okay, I'm in.
Sorted. I don't always use JSTOR, but when I do, I get an A. So memes are really, really effective. They're really, really great engagement tools. I highly encourage you all to use them. And this was the last time that I made the presentation was for trans families, just this week. Yeah, great.
Awesome.
I know.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But someone asked how to make memes, and so now I got to give that whole presentation again. Yeah.
Do you have that posted somewhere? I mean, is it available?
It's on my Prezi channel.
Somewhere? Okay.
You can search for me on Prezi.
Okay.
With all my other Prezis.
I had a question about analytics.
Great, yes, oh my God, how exciting.
I know we're towards the end, but I really wanted to ask you this.
Yes.
So I have to do monthly reports on our stuff and give them to Naomi and Todd.
Great.
And one of the things that we want to know or start tracking is what is our best performing post per month.
Uh-huh.
But I can't figure out how to figure that out per month.
Okay, I can show you that. Once it logs in here. So in the Insights tab on your page, if I can get over here, logging into Business Manager, trigger warning, Lauren.
I'm nervous. I just have to do it.
So in here is the Posts choice.
Okay.
Under Posts, you can go down here and you can click whichever one of these you want, and it will sort it in that way. And so you can get published over here as one. I think you can click on this. Can't you just click on this one to have it do it that way?
So does reach organic means not sponsored?
Yes. I thought that you could. I know that I have done it so it filters it and picks the best one first.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to make it filter versus just going through them and like having like write down all these numbers and then figure it out by hand.
All right, let's see if I can. Well, you can. Oh, that's frustrating because I was fairly confident that I was going to do that, but obviously you've tried that.
I have.
And I have done that in the past. Is there a place to do it that's not in here?
Because we want to kind of start figuring out like what are our best performing posts and then begin to kind of analyze them month by month and kind of figure out like why are these things doing well.
Absolutely.
And you
Yeah,
got
do
that.
you have a sense, this is kind of related to what you were talking about with the gifts and different kinds of posts. Do you have a sense in what you're posting, what tends to have higher engagement? I'm sure it's very topic related and there's lots of variables, but.
The highest engagement are aurora, muskox, and volcanoes. Without a doubt. Sunsets, sunrises, those come
Pretty high
in the
up.
top 10. What gets ultimate engagement is fun pictures of people starting school and graduating from school, because their families all see those things. So it's either pretty pictures of Alaska or life events for members of the community.
So I shouldn't have the impression that I should be cooling it on the ship sunset picture.
No. No, you should be sharing more of that stuff. Why won't?
So you got there from the homepage?
Yeah, this is on Business Manager, but you can look at it on the regular page as well.
And Business Manager, you have to be an admin for Business Manager?
Yeah.
Okay, that might be why.
Yep. All right, so how could you find it out per month? Is it exporting this stuff? Let's see. Because you can export the data too.
Yeah, I've been doing that too, but there's like 50 tabs when you export it.
Yeah, I know.
So, which is awesome, but I don't even know where I would look for it, I guess, is the problem.
Okay, let's see here. Recent posts. That's a tricky one. I will see. I thought that I could. I know I have sorted the columns by that before. So I don't know why, if they've changed it because they want me to do just the exporting of the stuff.
Thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you soon, I hope.
Yes.
Maybe that'll get something.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. I'm really curious.
I've been trying to figure out this particular item of data for like a while now, and I've Googled a bunch of questions. I just can't figure it out.
I mean, I don't know. Now in a spreadsheet, I don't know how to use it enough to be able to like have the top one come up, or I don't know if there's a way to make the spreadsheet do what I want. But there might be people who know about Excel enough in a time to do that. Like lifetime engaged users, post consumers, post consumptions, negative feedback. Probably in here is one of those things that will be helpful for you. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Let's talk more about that.
Okay, yeah.
Because I want to figure. Yeah, if that's something that is a metric for you, I want to know for sure how that you can find that out, because that's a great thing. Bye. Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was helpful.
Anytime you want to talk more, you can always reach me through the Facebook page or email.
Okay.
I love to talk about this stuff.
Is there a resource you recommend, apart from yourself, just kind of, like a webinar series or anything like that you recommend?
Facebook Blueprint is the one that I recommend.
Okay, great.
Why won't you? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
That's-
I was just curious.
That's crazy. Because I really did think that there was a way to look at it that way. Excludes targeted posts.
I think it's weird that it is not easy to find.
Right, it seems like it should be.
I feel like most people would be interested in knowing that piece
Yeah.
of information, so I find it really strange.
Is that something like Sprout Social would keep in their analytics, or is that?
I don't know. I hope there weren't any, if people are still watching, who's out there? Were there other comments? No. Okay, I'm gonna stop this, you guys. Bye.
Thank you, Andrew.
Oh, you're welcome.
Have a good weekend.